The iPhone 14 Pro brings tons of new features to the table, and today I want to show you all these amazing new features that come with the iPhone 14 Pro in this complete beginner's guide. We're going to start off with the initial setup process, like how to get started with your iPhone 14, and then install iOS 16 and make sure it's updated. Then we're going to dive into all the incredible tips, tricks, and hidden features that are going to allow you to walk away from this video like an iPhone 14 Pro expert. So without further ado, let's dive into today's video, our complete beginner's guide on the iPhone 14 Pro. With the iPhone 14, you'll notice it has a very similar body to previous iPhones like the iPhone 13, for example. We have our notifications controller right here on the left side, and if I flip it towards me, this means that my notifications are going to be turned on and you'll hear sound coming out of your iPhone. But if I flip it like this, you're going to see this orange tab, and that signals that your notifications are turned off and it'll just vibrate instead. And then we have our volume controls right here. This is pretty self-explanatory. You click the upper button to turn up your volume, and then you click the lower one to turn down your volume. And on the right hand side, we have our power button. It's pretty large right here, and if you hold that down, that'll either turn off your phone, and if you just click it once, it'll just shut off your screen and it'll go black. And then usually this is where the SIM card tray is, but the iPhone 14 has a new approach with SIM cards. I'll dive into that later. So if we go look at the bottom of the phone, you're going to see this is where the charger goes into right here. The iPhone 14 is also MagSafe compatible like the iPhone 13, so you can actually get a MagSafe charger and place it right on the back of the phone, and you can charge your product or iPhone this way. I definitely recommend using it because it's a hassle using wires all the time, and it also charges fast, if not faster, as a wired charger. So you can use any MagSafe chargers with your iPhone 14, no worries there. And then we're looking at the back of the screen right here. We have the 3 cameras and the flashlight. The iPhone 14 has improved camera quality, and I'll dive into that later, but this is basically the body of the iPhone. Now let's take off this covering and see what the front looks like. The newest and biggest feature for the iPhone 14 is this addition of the dynamic island, which is located right here. And basically this is a combination of hardware and software that will bubble up when you receive notifications, phone calls, listen to music, and so much more. I'm going to be diving into tons of details about the dynamic island and what it has to offer, so stick around and I'll show you guys all what dynamic island is about later on in this video. And after you put in a few minor details like your card information and all those, it'll take you to this page where it says Emergency SOS. Now, this is a brand new feature for Apple products like the new iPhone 14 and the Apple Watch. And essentially what Emergency SOS is the iPhone's ready to help in any emergency. So you can press and hold for Emergency SOS. All you have to do is just press and hold the side button and either volume button to make an emergency call. We have crash detection. So if the phone detects a severe car crash, it will automatically try and call emergency services. And also coming in fall 2022, they have Emergency SOS via satellite, which is also very new. And when available in select countries, the iPhone can try to text emergency services to the satellite if it cannot connect to cellular. So if you're in a situation, if you're lost, for example, you can actually contact a satellite and you'll be able to send out messages that way, which I think is super innovative and super helpful in certain scenarios. But the first thing we're going to want to do to get started is go to settings and make sure we're updated to iOS 16. And if we're not, make sure we update that right away. iOS 16 has just been released, offers tons of new features that are all incredible. It's personally my favorite software update for Apple, and I definitely recommend getting that set up as soon as you can. So as you can see, we just got the software update in our settings section, and we're going to click download and install right here. And throughout this video, I'm going to be showing you tons of features that come with iOS 16 as well as the iPhone 14, but definitely download iOS 16 as fast as you can. So the iPhone 14 has a new Super Retina XDR display, and as you can see, it is completely incredible. It has such a nice display and aesthetics to this new screen, but I want to show you a few ways you can customize your display just to get started with your new iPhone 14. And to do that, all you want to do is just go to settings right here, and then as you can see, iOS 16 is about to be updated, but we'll dive into that later. And then if we go down to display and brightness right here, you're going to see tons of options we can start looking at. So first we have our appearance. So you have the option between light and dark. Right now I have my iPhone on light, but if we want to make it dark, it's just going to essentially turn all the other backgrounds black, like on text message or iMessage and other apps, and it's going to make the overall display a little bit darker. So let's click that right now. See, it's going to turn the settings black right here opposed to white. For the sake of this video, I'm going to keep it light, but that is completely up to you. But we also have this automatic tab right here, and if we turn this on, it's going to give us a few options to go off of. So essentially by turning this on, you can have scheduled times to change appearance automatically. So if you want light mode on from sunset to sunrise, It'll stay on during these time periods. As soon as the sun sets, your phone's going to transition into dark mode since it's the nighttime, or you can create your own custom schedule right here. I'm going to keep it sunset to sunrise because it aligns with my sleeping schedule, obviously. And then next we have our text size, so you can change the size of your text when texting. I like the standard, but if you want it bigger, you have a hard time seeing, you can always turn that up. Or if you want it smaller, you can definitely do that as well. And you can also bold text. So now if we turn on bold text right here, now all your text messages or texts on your screen are going to turn bold. This is completely up to you. All of these are your preference. I'm going to turn that off. And then you can choose from your brightness right here, or you can go to your control center and swipe up and choose your brightness options this way. But I'm going to dive into the control center later. And then next we have True Tone, which I'll also dive into later. But these are a few appearances and ways you can change your display and brightness on your iPhone 14. And then another feature I want to bring your attention to is AutoLock. So as you can see, I have mine turned on at never right now, but essentially what this means is this is going to show how long your screen is going to stay on before shutting off or turning black. So attention is detected when you're looking at your screen, and when attention is detected, your phone does not have a dim display. It's bright. So I always have mine on never because I like to have it just continuously going until I shut it off myself. But you can have your auto lock turned from 30 seconds to 5 minutes, anywhere in between, and it's completely up to you. Also, a new feature specifically for the iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Pro is that the screen's always on display. So instead of your phone screen shutting off, the lock screen will always be glanceable, so you can see any updates without having to tap anything at all. It's just gonna be darker, as you can see right now. But when I pick up my phone like this, you're gonna see it starts to get brighter and goes back to that normal display. So this is a brand new feature on the iPhone 14, but also keep in mind that when it's in my pocket or face down, the screen will go black. So you can save battery, which is something I definitely recommend doing, but this is a great feature for the iPhone 14. It's always gonna be glanceable unless it's in your pocket or it's facing down. Before I go any further into this video, I want to take a moment of your time to introduce to you the ESR charging stations and phone cases. Right here is the HaloLock 3-in-1 charging station, and you can power up all of your devices at once. So let's take a closer look at what this incredible charger has to offer. With Apple's MagSafe technology built right here in the back of their iPhone and other Apple products, all you have to do with the HaloLock 3-in-1 charging station is just simply place your iPhone right here on the charging pad, and it's going to start to charge right away. And also on top of this, there's going to be a cooling fan to help you cool down your phone and the charger so it doesn't overheat. And this is just the beginning. With your AirPods, you can actually place them right down here to charge. And we also have this right here where you can loop your Apple Watch around to charge that as well. The magnet on this is super strong, so you can still continue to use your iPhone while it's charging. As you can see, if I twist my phone this way, it's going to stay on and not even come close to falling off. And if I want to watch any videos or any piece of content on my phone while it's charging, all I have to do is I can twist it this way, just like this, and now my orientation lock is going to twist along with that. And as you can see, it's going to stay right there, and I can continue to watch whatever I'm watching right here on my iPhone 14. And for portable power, be sure to check out their magnetic wireless power bank as well, which comes in a 10,000 mAh battery capacity and a 5,000 mAh battery capacity. And with these, you can bring your iPhone 14 anywhere. And they also have a kickstand, which is right here on the back. And all you have to do is just place that down like this, then place your iPhone right here, and it's going to start charging like it did with the 3-in-1 charger, just like that. And as you can see, the magnet is also super strong on this product as well. If I hold my phone like this, you're going to see it has no chance of coming off. You can also twist your iPhone whatever way you feel you want to use it, just like the magnetic 3-in-1 charger right here. ESR even offers clear magnetic phone cases, both with and without charging capabilities, and you can easily snap these onto your phone for easy fitting. And also for this one specifically, the case around the lens can also be folded open just like this. So if you want to use it to prop up your phone and watch videos or any content that way, this one is also MagSafe compatible. So all you have to do is just place it on either your 3-in-1 charger or your portable power kickstand, and just place it right here just like that, and it's going to stick, and you can charge your phone that way using this incredible case. Convenient and perfectly designed for your needs, these products are sure to completely revolutionize the way you charge, transport, and protect your devices. So be sure to use the link below to get 20% off your order, and also enter into ESR's iPhone 14 Pro giveaway, which I have right here. Enjoy charging all your products with these incredible ESR chargers. Now, since we have iOS 16 updated on our iPhone 14, I want to show you a new feature that comes with it regarding the display and the lock screen for this new iPhone. So now with iOS 16 on your iPhone 14, you can actually change and edit your lock screens without having to go into settings. You can do it right through the lock screen, which makes it super convenient and easy. And they have offered tons of new customizations you can do with these lock screens. So so let's dive into all of them. So first, if you want to edit your lock screen that you currently have, all you have to do is just hold down on it like this, and you can click customize right here. So now we have tons of options to choose from, like changing the font, the color, and adding certain widgets. So for example, if I want to change the color of my text right here, I can just click on that, and I can choose the font and color. They offer tons of fonts, like all of these right here. Tons to choose from. Then you can also slide to choose different colors you want for that specific font. You can choose all of these colors right here, and say you don't want to choose any of those colors, you can always just go to this ring right here and choose from a spectrum, grid, or sliders. So say for example, I want to choose a red slider. I can just always move this up or down depending on my preference. And this is one of the colors you can choose, but there's tons to choose from. You can essentially edit your lock screen in any way with all of these colors. And you can also choose what widgets you want to be shown on your lock screen. Right now you can see I have my calendar, the weather, and my battery percentage for my iPhone. But if we tap right here, you're going to see all the widgets you can add and remove. So say I want to remove my weather, for example, and I want to add my alarm clock instead, I can just click that right here, and now my 7:45 a.m. alarm is going to pop up right on my lock screen. Then if you want more options to choose from, you can choose any of these that you prefer. Tons of widgets to choose from, and I definitely recommend trying them and personalize it to your needs. And you can also choose the color of your lock screen. So right now we have deep purple, which is the color of the iPhone that I got, but if we just swipe over, you're going to see we have gold, silver, and space black. And if we click these three dots down here, you have the option to have a depth effect as well. This will just show it in more detail, which I definitely recommend because it has an incredible display. And if we click done right here, you're going to see this option as well. We have the option to set the wallpaper as a pair. So this will be the color and display of my lock screen and my home screen as well. And say you want to customize your home screen in a different way, there's no worries there. You can actually choose a different option for your home screen, but I'll dive into that later. Now, if you want to create a new lock screen or switch between lock screens, all you have to do is just hold down your lock screen. You can see I have tons I've already created, but if we want to create a new one, you can either click this plus button or swipe right here and click add new. So by adding new, there's tons of wallpapers to choose from. We have anywhere from photo shuffle, emoji, and the featured. I'm going to walk you through some of my favorites right now. So one of the coolest options I think is the emoji option. So you can actually have emojis as your background of your lock screen. If you scroll down to this emoji section right here, they're going to give you a few that they recommend. All of these options, but if you want to create your own, you just scroll back up to the top like this, click emoji, and now you can choose any emoji that you want and that you like and add that as your lock screen. So for example, this was a combination of emojis I used to create this lock screen right here, and I put it in a blue background, but you can essentially edit your emojis in any way and choose from the options they give you, like this one for example. Completely up to you, but this is a brand new feature on the wallpapers with iOS 16 that I definitely recommend checking out. And if we go back to create new, I also want to show you one of my other favorites, which is also the photo shuffle. So with photo shuffle, it's essentially a dynamic set of photos that shuffle as you use your iPhone throughout the day, and you can actually change the shuffle frequency. So I have mine set to hourly, but you can change this right here by choosing on tap, lock, hourly, or daily. So I want to do on tap, for example, and they give me recommended photos to use. So let's click use featured photos right here. So now this is the first photo in my photo shuffle. And if I want to tap, I can see all the other photos that are going to be featured in this photo shuffle. As you can see, Apple chose the best pictures I have taken to have as my background. I included nature and cities. And then also on top of this, if you want to add any widgets or change the font, you can definitely do that as well. And now every time you use this photo shuffle, every time you tap your screen, it's going to change that lock screen right here. And say you don't want all of these photos that are shown to be featured in this photo shuffle, you can click these three dots right here and you can actually have this photo specifically not featured, and you can turn that off. So now this photo won't be featured, and you can choose which ones you want to have featured on this lock screen, which I think is super cool. And all these photos are great. So I definitely recommend trying that if you like taking photos and have some high quality ones. You can choose the black and white option, duotone, color wash. Any of these options you can choose from with your lock screen on your iPhone and iOS 16. I want to show you a few of my options that I've created with this lock screen. So for example, if I swipe right, I actually created a Jon Snow one from Game of Thrones, which I think is super cool for all those Game of Thrones fans out there. I have tons of options I want to choose from. I have this generic one that they give me. Any iPhone wallpaper you want to choose, you can essentially add. It's going to look very nice with a high quality display and great aesthetics on this lock screen for iPhone 14s with iOS 16. You'll also notice on the iPhone 14 and iOS 16, the notifications now appear at the bottom of the screen opposed to covering all the nice displays that you created on the wallpapers. So as you can see, it's located right here. I definitely prefer this way so they're out of my way when I'm looking at my screen, but there's actually a way you can change it to go back to the original way notifications were shown. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now now. We just got to go to settings right here. And once we're on settings, it's super easy to do. You just want to go to notifications right here. And as you can see, I have it in list view right here, but you can choose between stack or count. I prefer keeping it as list the way it is. As I can see, my notifications are at the bottom, which are out of the way. So I definitely prefer this, but if you prefer the old way, you can choose any of these options as well. So for example, we have list right now, but I want to show you what the other ones look like. So if we click list or count, for example, and we go back to my wallpaper, you're going to see I have a tab that says one notification opposed to actually showing the notification. And if we just tap that right here, then the notification is going to pop up. So it's completely out of your way. I prefer the other way, but this is completely up to you. And you can just edit this right in your notification center on your settings. iPhone 14 also introduces an all-day battery life, which is a brand new feature for this new phone. And it allows up to 23 hours of video playback for the iPhone 14 Pro that I have. And I believe it's 29 hours of video playback for the iPhone 14 Pro Max. So this is a great new battery addition for the iPhones. It stays supercharged. And remember, you can always just charge it using this right here or using a magnetic charger with a MagSafe compatibility on the back of your screen. But as you can see right now, we have our battery icon right here. And if I scroll down to my control center, you're going to see it shows the battery percentage. But if you don't want to see that and you want to see the specific number right off the bat, you can actually change this in settings. So if we go to settings to change our battery, it's super easy to do. You just go down to battery right here, and it's going to show these options you can choose from. We have battery percentage, which is turned off, but if I turn that on, what I was saying is now you can see the number of that battery percentage right here on this battery icon. It shows 94. I definitely recommend this because in previous iOS updates, they actually show the percentage and they took it away after that. But with iOS 16, you can now have this option to show the battery percentage again. And I like to have that on so I can just see the number so I get an idea of when I need to charge it. Then as I'm sure you guys are all aware, you know of a low power mode, which will turn on and actually help you save battery when your phone's starting to get low and you don't have a charger available to charge your phone at the moment. Since we already talked about all the customization you can do with the lock screen, I want to show you the customization you can use with the home screen of the iPhone right now. So as you can see, I'm on my home screen right now and I have tons of apps and they're all pretty scattered, but I want to show you some features like adding widgets for an example. So as I'm sure you all are aware, if you have an iPhone, you can add widgets to your home screen. Right here is actually an example one. It's my stack widget where it shows all my favorite widgets that I wanted to add to my iPhone's home screen. But if we hold down the home screen anywhere, you're going to see we have this option where the apps start jiggling. Then we have this plus button right here. So if we want to add a widget, we can just click that plus button. And now you have all these widgets you can choose from, anywhere from notes, reminders, fitness, news, photos, anything you want essentially on your widgets, you can choose and add those to your lock screen. So for example, if I want to add a widget for my battery, I can do that right here. It's going to show the options I can choose from with status, which is a smaller square icon. We have a longer, more rectangular one. And then we also have this big one right here. To keep things simple, I'm just going to add this widget right here. And now that's on my lock screen or my home screen of my iPhone, so I can see the percentage whenever I'd like to. And also, if we hold down our home screen, you're going to see that the apps start to jiggle and they have these minus buttons pop up. So for example, say you're spending too much time on an app like TikTok, for example. If we click this right here, we have the option to delete the app or remove from home screen. And say you don't want to delete it because you like to spend some time on TikTok, but you don't like to spend all your time and it's time consuming, you can actually remove this from your home screen so you don't see it and you're less inclined to go on it. So now if we remove from our home screen, it's not going to be on my home screen, but I still have that app downloaded. And if I want to find it, I can just search it up with searching and Siri suggestions, or I can go all the way to my app library, which is all the way over here. And that's where I'm going to be able to find TikTok or any other app that I hide from my home screen. So this is one way you can hide apps from your home screen if you think you're spending too much time on it. And if you want to locate that app, you can go to the app library right here. It has every single app on your phone that you've downloaded, and you can locate them right here or search them right here on the search tab. And as you can see, I have tons of pages with tons of apps. They're all pretty scattered out on my phone, which I should fix. But I want to show you an option where you can actually hide certain pages of your app so you don't have to keep scrolling to find those ones. So for example, if we hold down the screen again and click these dots down here, you're going to see all the pages of apps that I have on my iPhone 14. And as you can see, they all have a check mark under each page. And this essentially means that all these apps are going to be shown on my home screen when I go on my iPhone. But if you want to remove some of these pages, you don't want them all shown so you can have to scroll less, you can essentially do that by just unchecking all of these. So for example, if I want to uncheck this page right here, now that page is not going to be shown on my home screen of my iPhone. And then also I can do this with any of the other pages that I want, but some of these apps are very scattered out and I don't use them all the time. So you can check or uncheck any pages on your home screen if you want and choose which ones you want to see when you go on your iPhone. So I definitely recommend doing this if you have tons of apps and you don't want to have all of these pages opened at once. You can essentially do that and just click done right here, and now that page won't show. Also for the home screen, I'm sure if you have an iPhone, you're aware of this feature. If you want to clear tabs or apps that are open currently on the home screen of your iPhone, all you have to do is just swipe up on the bottom of your phone like this, and you're going to see all the apps that are currently open on your iPhone at the moment. And to clear those, all you have to do is just swipe up like this, and now those apps will be closed. And I definitely recommend doing this because this is a way to save battery percentage so you don't have all these apps running at once, draining your battery. I'm really good at remembering to clear all of my apps because I like to save my battery, but I know a lot of people can forget to do that. But that's the way you can clear apps so you can save battery on your iPhone, just by swiping up like this, then clearing those apps. I want to show you all a little bit about the control center and all the icons within that control center. To access your control center, it's super easy to do. You see where the battery icon right here is. All you do is just swipe down right here, and now we are in my control center of my iPhone 14. And some of these icons are self-explanatory and others I'm going to walk you through. So let's dive right into it. So right off the bat, we have airplane mode. You only have to turn that on when you're on an airplane as it's about to take off. We have our cellular turned on. I definitely want to keep that turned on so you can send out messages, receive phone calls, and whatnot. We also have our Wi-Fi right here, so you want to make sure you're connected to a network and Wi-Fi so you can go on any social media or go on any platforms and get that internet. We also have our Bluetooth, so when you want to connect to headphones or connect to any Bluetooth products, you can actually just turn that on. And by holding down this tab right here, you're going to see all these options that we have in more detail. We have our personal hotspot, AirDrop, and airplane mode, all the other ones I talked about. So these are pretty self-explanatory. You want to make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi and cellular at all time to use your iPhone 14 to the maximum ability you can. And next we have our music tab right here. So I have nothing playing at the moment, but if I was playing music or a podcast or any sort of audio, you'd see that it'd be playing right here. And if we click this little tab right here, you're going to see that the audio would be coming out of my iPhone because it has a check mark next to it, but I also have speakers and TVs like my MacBook Pro and my Roku, and say I had my AirPods or any headphones connected, you could actually option to choose that and connect to those as well. So when you hear that audio, it's coming through those earpods or earbuds at the moment, opposed to having my iPhone. So that's one other feature on the control center. We have our orientation lock right here. And essentially what this does is since I have this turned on, now whenever I twist my phone, basically the iPhone screen is not going to turn with it since I have this orientation lock turned on. But if I turned it off and then rotated my phone that way, the screen would actually flip that way as well. I prefer to have my orientation locked in this variation and orientation. And then next we have our brightness right here. And I already talked a little bit about the display, but as you can see, if we hold this down, you're going to have the option to increase your display or brightness or lower it depending on how bright it is in the area that you're using your iPhone in. And then we also have dark mode. I already showed you guys what this entails, but right now we have dark mode and it's off until sunset. But if I want to turn that on, I can do that through my control center just by clicking this, and now my screen is going to turn into dark mode opposed to light mode. We have night shift right here. And essentially what night shift does is by turning it on, it's going to create a screen that's more dim and yellowish opposed to the bright one I have right here. And this is perfect for before you go to bed. If you're reading any news or going on social media on your phone at night, you don't want to have too much strain or damage to your eyes because we know the screens can be very vibrant and bright. So by turning on night shift, it's actually going to prevent that strain on your eyes and you're going to be able to see a little bit clearer. It's essentially like using blue light glasses to read your book or go on your phone. Similar way with night shift. And then also we have True Tone. And essentially what True Tone is, by turning that on, it just creates a more vibrant display on your phone. It's going to show the colors popping with a more vibrant display, and you're going to be able to see all the vibrant colors right here on your home screen. I prefer that off. But as you can see, this is the brightness section on your iPhone's control center. Then also we have our volume. This is pretty self-explanatory. If you hold that down, you just have the option to turn it up or down right here. You also have the volume buttons on the side of your phone. And then also we have our home app, which will appear. I haven't set that up, but I can walk through that later. Also have our flashlight right here. So if I click that, it actually just turns on my flashlight like this, right through this hole right here on the back of my screen. Pretty self-explanatory. And if you hold down the battery icon, you can actually choose how bright you want your flashlight to get. As you can see, I have at the lowest option, but if you want it really bright, you can turn it up all the way. I prefer to keep it right here for battery purposes, but this is a little bit about the flashlight tab right here. And just to turn it off, you just click that. And then next we have our clock icon right here. And if we click on that, it's just gonna take us to the clock app on our iPhone. So if we click that, it's gonna take us right here. And now we have a few options I wanna walk you through for your clock on your iPhone 14. Right now we have a timer, so you can set any timer you'd like, whether it's hours, minutes. And as soon as that time runs out, your alarm's gonna come off on your iPhone to alert you with that. We have our stopwatch right here. And by clicking that, it's just gonna start a timer. And then we also have our alarm. As I previously showed you, I have my alarm set to 7:45 a.m. right here at all times every morning, but you can change that. And I'm gonna walk you through more details about the alarm and setting alarms later on in this video. We also have our world clock right here. Since we are on the clock app, I actually wanna show you a cool feature that's linked with the dynamic island I mentioned earlier in this video. And I wanna show you how this comes into action. For example, when we start a timer right here. So if we wanna start a timer for 30 minutes and we click start right here, if we exit the app, you're gonna see the dynamic island come into action with this timer. So if I exit out, you're gonna see right here on the top of my iPhone with the dynamic island, it's actually gonna show me how much time I have left on that timer right here at the top of my screen, which I think is a super cool feature for the iPhone 14. And if we click on it again, it's gonna take us to the timer and that clock app. So this is one feature that is really cool with the dynamic island and the clock app on your iPhone 14. You exit out and now you're gonna see your timer at all times when you're doing other stuff on your iPhone, and it is super cool, and I wanted to show you guys that. But let's go back to the control center now. So next in the control center, we have our calculator, and this is going to take us to the calculator app. When we click it, similar to when we clicked the clock app, it took us to that app. So if we click it right here, it's going to take us to that app right here. Pretty self-explanatory, and you need to crunch any numbers, you can just go to that on the control center or go to the calculator app right there. And then next we have the camera, which is something I want to talk about in a little bit more detail later on in the video. But if we click on the camera app right here, it's going to take us to the camera of our phone, and it's going to come through right here. These iPhone 14s have incredible cameras. They get better with every new iPhone release. I'm going to be walking through some new features that come with the camera later, but this is one way to access it on the control center of your iPhone 14. Then next we have our battery icon on the control center. By turning this on, you essentially put your phone in low power mode, which I already talked about. And if we hold it down right here, you can see that low power mode is turned on. I don't need to turn that on right now because I'm at 90%, but like I said, when your phone's getting low and you don't have access to charger, to save some of your battery life, you can just turn this on, and now you're going to reduce that battery strain on your iPhone. And then next we have our screen recorder right here, and by clicking this, you're going to actually be able to take a screen recording of anything going on in your iPhone. I'm sure most of you know what this does, but if we click it, it's going to start taking a video of my home screen through my iPhone 14. So you can definitely turn that on if you need to show any screenshots or any information to any of your colleagues or friends. And then lastly, we have this ear icon. So this has a ton of different features. You can choose from right here by holding it down. And by clicking this, it's going to show my speaker. And the first option we have is background sound. So essentially by turning on background sound, you can choose which specific background sound you want, and you can have that noise coming through your phone. I like to turn on background sounds when I'm doing work, and I prefer some sort of background noise. I don't like to work in complete silence. I like to have some sort of white noise. So by turning on background sounds, as you can see, we have rain pop up, and you can choose from tons of different options like rain, balance noise, bright noise, dark noise, all the other options you can choose from that you prefer. And I definitely recommend turning this on if you like to work and not just silence. You like to have something going on in the background, like some sort of white noise. You can do that with your iPhone 14. I'm going to shut that off right now though. And we also have live listen. So essentially with live listen, you can connect a compatible audio device to use live listen. And then lastly, we have headphone accommodations and media. So you can choose which one you want your audio to come out of. I have my phone and my media coming through my iPhone. But like I said, if you have AirPods or any other headphones with you, you can actually choose which one you want your audio to come through right here in this control center of your iPhone 14. One icon in the control center I forgot to talk about is your focus mode. So if you have an iPhone, I'm sure you know what focus mode is, but if we click on this, you're going to see all the other options we have for focus mode. We have standard do not disturb, so you won't receive any notifications or you won't get any of those right away with your iPhone 14 turned on do not disturb. You'll just be able to check those later and you won't receive any noise or updates from that. We have all these other options you can edit for like personal, work, sleep, or shopping. I like to have sleep on when I go to bed. It actually shuts off my phone and makes it very dim and prevents me from going on it when I'm trying to sleep. I definitely recommend turning that on, and I'll walk you through that later. But with iOS 16, there's actually a new focus mode setting that you can use with the lock screens, and I want to show you all that right now because it actually is super amazing amazing and it is worth checking out. So depending on the lock screen that you have turned on at the moment and set to on your iPhone, you can actually choose a focus mode for that specific wallpaper. So for example, if we hold down this icon right here or this wallpaper, you're gonna see this little tab down here that says focus. So if we click on that, now you can link a certain focus mode with this specific lock screen. For example, say I want for this specific lock screen, I want do not disturb linked with this. So I can turn this on. So now whenever I'm on this specific lock screen, my phone's gonna be in do not disturb mode. As you can see at the bottom of my screen, it says do not disturb. But say I wanna have a different lock screen signal, a different focus mode. If I hold down my phone again and go to this one, for example, and click focus, now I can have this one in sleep mode. So now whenever I go to sleep, I set my phone to this specific wallpaper, and now it's gonna be in sleep mode for this specific wallpaper when I wanna go to bed. And you can do this with any of your wallpapers that you have. You can just choose a focus mode by linking that and clicking that right here, and just choose whichever one you want on your iPhone 14. I'm gonna turn this off for now, but whenever you want to link a focus mode, just know you can do that with the lock screen if you have your phone updated to iOS 16 on your iPhone 14. And for sleep mode, as you saw, I linked this specific lock screen with sleep mode on my iPhone 14. And if you click this icon right here, you're going to see I have sleep turned on until tomorrow at 7:45. Now, I only turn this on at night, so when it actually comes to 7:45 a.m. in the morning, it'll actually shut off sleep mode and my phone will be back to normal with its normal screen, just like this. So for example, if you like to spend time on your phone before you go to bed, but you know it's time to go to sleep, you can just turn on this sleep icon right here. Your phone's gonna go black, and it's gonna ask you if you wanna go in to go on your phone before doing so because you're in sleep mode. So I definitely recommend turning that on before you go to bed. It's very helpful when going to bed. And also if you pair this with night mode, like I previously showed you in the control center, you can actually prevent any eye damage and get a great night's sleep with the help of your iPhone 14. Also, just remember you can go to the control center and choose any of these options right here through that. But this is a little bit about the do not disturb modes you can choose on your iPhone 14 with iOS 16. You can always create a new focus mode right here, and you can choose specific categories you want to focus on. You can custom, driving, fitness, gaming, anything you want to do, you can actually create a focus mode for that specific focus on your iPhone 14. So we'll dive into that later, but that's one way you can edit and customize your focus mode in your control center or on your lock screen with your iPhone 14. There's a lot of features I just walked you through for the control center on your iPhone 14, but you can actually edit and customize this on your settings on your iPhone just by going to settings and then scrolling down to control center right here. And now we have tons of options to choose from. So for example, we have access within apps. So you can have this turned on and it'll allow access to the control center within the apps. And when it's disabled, you can still access the control center just from the home screen. So this means when you're on an app like settings, for example, you can still access the control center. But if you don't have that turned on, you only be able to access it through the home screen. You can also show the home controls, which I have turned on. And this includes recommended controls for home accessories and scenes. This is what I was talking about earlier when you saw this home section right here in the control center. Then also you can customize which apps you want to see in your control center. So as you can see, these are all the apps and icons I have in my control center at the moment that I already showed you, like my flashlight, timer, calculator, and so on. You can go down here and choose any of these controls you want to be shown in your control center. For example, I think quick note would be a good one to have. So whenever you go to your control center, you want to jot down a quick note, you can actually just tap that icon right now. It's going to take you to the new quick note page, and you can type in a quick note for easy convenience and more efficiently with this iPhone and this icon through the control center. So just do that with the control center if you want to add any more or remove any, because there's a lot that you probably don't need, but it's completely up to your call. So using the camera on the iPhone 14 is pretty self-explanatory. You have all these other options to choose from between photo, portrait, panoramic, video, whatever mode you want, you can essentially choose on your camera. And like I said, every year the iPhone gets a better camera, and this time around the iPhone 14 actually has a 65% larger sensor than the iPhone 13 Pro. So now you can capture anything with better sensor and quality when taking videos or photos. It's super cool, and I love using the cameras on the iPhone because they do a great job at capturing all the depth and displays that you take pictures of. With this iPhone, you can actually take a 24 frames per second video, which is standard to the film industry and taking movies and directing movies that are actually in Hollywood. So it's super cool and actually has a great quality. So if you want to take a video, you actually will see all the high quality that it displays with this new camera on the iPhone 14. But it's pretty self-explanatory on how to use the camera app. All these options to choose from. If you want to turn on flash, you just click that right here. Tons of options you can choose from, but it's pretty cool to check out the camera app, and I definitely recommend doing it. Before we dive into any more features, I also want to show you how to set up Siri and listen for Hey Siri on your iPhone 14. 14 because Siri is a standard for all Apple products and it comes in very handy when using her. You can contact her for anything you need, get any information, and I want to show you how to set that up and use it to the best of your ability. So we are in settings right now and we go down to Siri and search right here. As you can see, I have listen for Hey Siri turned off. I just turned that off for the purpose of this video, but let's turn it on and see what happens. So we're going to set up Hey Siri right now and we're going to click continue right here. Hey Siri. Hey Siri, send a message. Hey Siri, how's the weather today? Hey Siri, set a timer for 3 minutes. Hey Siri, play some music. And just like that, Hey Siri is ready and she'll recognize your voice whenever you say Hey Siri. So let's try it right now. Hey Siri, go to the weather app. And just like that, she'll listen to any command I offer or ask, and it's easy to set up. Just turn on Hey Siri on your settings right here. You also want to make sure you have press side button for Siri turned on and allow Siri when locked also turned on. So by holding down the power button like this, you're going to see type to Siri comes up and you can just type in any question or any information that you need right through typing on your text messages right here. And then also, if you have allow Siri when locked turned on, if you close your iPhone and shut it off and then turn it back on, Hey Siri, you'll see that Siri will still pop up even when my phone screen's off and I'm just on my lock screen. So I definitely recommend doing that as well. Just make sure those are turned on in your Siri and search setting on your settings app on your iPhone 14. So to shut off your iPhone or take it back to the lock screen, all you have to do is click the power button like this. And like I said, it's always going to be glanceable unless it's in your pocket or face down. It's going to take you to this lock screen right here. And that's essentially shutting off your phone for a quick period of time. If you hold this down instead, it's going to ask you to type for Siri like I previously showed you. Then there's a few other features I want to show you as well. If we double click the power button like this, Apple Cash is going to pop up. As you can see, I haven't set that up yet, but if you want to have easy access to your cash on your iPhone 14, just double click that power button right here and Apple Cash will pop up and you can add money or go to the Apple Store if you'd like. And also, if we hold down the power button and one of the volume buttons at the same time like this, you're going to have the option to shut off your phone for good to save battery. And you just slide that to have that power off. And then you can turn it on in a similar fashion to the way you shut it off. And that's how you shut off your phone if you want to on your iPhone 14. You can also turn on your flashlight directly through your iPhone's lock screen right here. All you have to do is just hold that down like this. And now the camera's going to turn on, or the flashlight's going to turn on right here. And to shut that off, you can just do that. And then you can also access the camera on your iPhone 14's lock screen as well. Just hold that down. It's going to take you directly to the camera app right here. So these are a few options you can choose with the lock screen of your iPhone 14. Then if we enter our phone right here, you're also going to see if I swipe down like this, it's going to take us right back to the home screen of our iPhone. So you can do that to access a lock screen as well, but it's completely up to you. And this is how you get around your iPhone 14 and shut it off and all these other features that come with it. I also want to show you another feature with the dynamic island on this iPhone 14 because I think it is so cool. So say you want to play a song, for example. If I go to my playlist and click this song, I'm just going to turn down the volume so we don't hear it. And if we exit out of the music app, you're going to see right at the top, it's going to show that music playing through my home screen on my iPhone, not on the music app. So I think this is super cool and you can actually see what you're listening to right here at the dynamic island. And if you want to go back to that, you just tap that right here. It's going to take you back to the music app, showing you the song right here. Then if we exit out and then hold down again, you're gonna be able the option to click and go to different songs that are on your playlist as well. And you also have the option, if you click right here, you're gonna choose what that audio is gonna come out of. Right now it's only my iPhone, but if you have a pair of headphones, it'll come out of those as well. And if we go back right here, you're gonna see you can skip, go back, pause, and then you can do anything you want essentially with this dynamic island and your iPhone. I think it's super cool and it's really going to come into action when you start using your music, receiving notifications, calls, FaceTimes, whatever that may be. You can use that with the dynamic island on your iPhone 14. Say you're watching a movie on Apple TV or any of your streaming apps that you have on your iPhone 14 and you want to actually exit out of the app to do something quickly while watching that movie or whatever that may be. You can actually press play right here, for example. So as you can see, the movie's about to start playing and all we have to do is just exit out of this app. And as you can see, it's going to continue to play through my iPhone without being on the specific app that it's playing for. It's going to be on my home screen and you can see what's going on right here through the audio and the display of your iPhone without actually having to go into that streaming platform. And also, if we click on this right here, you're going to see we have the option to go forward or back 15 seconds. We have the option to pause it. And then if you want to go back to the app that the video is playing in, all you have to do is just click this right here. It's going to take you back there to the full screen of that video that you're watching. This is a super cool feature. If you have to leave the app to go do something else on your phone, you can still see the video that is playing. This works for YouTube or any other streaming platform on your iPhone 14. So texting using iMessage on your iPhone is pretty self-explanatory, and I'm sure you all have a good idea of how to use it. But with iOS 16, there's some brand new features on the iOS update that you can actually use with text message. And one of those is to be able to unsend or edit text messages after you send them. And I want to show you how to do this because it's about time they brought this feature to text message. I think it's super cool and it's very useful. So I want to show you how this works. So if I type in hi right now and click send, all I have to do is just hold down on that sent message and I have the option to undo send or edit send. So I'm going to click undo send right here. And now that's going to disappear, and the person I sent that message to, they won't see that text message either. It will be completely erased. It says you unsent a message. So if they're not updated to iOS 16, they still might be able to see the message. But by this time, I'm sure everyone's going to be updated to iOS 16 soon enough. So they won't be able to see that unsent message. But I also want to show you how to edit a text message as well. So say I type hi again, and like that, and then I hold down on that button again, I can actually edit this message and change what I want to say. So I can say, hi, how are you instead? And now that text message will be edited, and I just click send right here. And now it's going to be edited. It's going to show that it's been edited, and it might show that on the person you sent that to as well. But this is how you can unsend and edit a text message on iMessage. Like I said, I'm glad they brought this feature to the iPhone. It's about time. It comes in very handy if you mess up a message or need to unsend something. And say someone sends you a message in a different language, or if you want to translate your text message to a different language, you can do that as well on iMessage. All you have to do is hold down this text and go to translate right here. And now you can choose what language you want to choose. Right now we have Spanish right now, where it's going to say hola como estás, based on hi, how are you. You can copy this translation, you can choose a different language, and you can add to favorites or open and translate itself. And you can definitely do this any way you want with this iMessage and just translate any text message or see what they're saying in a different language through this feature on your iMessage app on your iPhone 14. Right now we're looking at one of the photos I took of my Apple Watch, and with iOS 16 and my iPhone 14, you can actually lift a subject from that photo and send that without sending the background. And this might be confusing at first, but I want to show you how this works. So you're going to see if I hold down on the Apple Watch, it's going to lift from the background here. And if I let go, I'm going to have the option to copy this right here. Now I want to show you what this is all about. If I go to my text messages right here and then go to this specific person and click paste right here, it's going to show the iPhone or the Apple Watch that I lifted from that photo without the background, and I can send that to this specific person without having to show the background. This is a super cool feature that is brand new in iOS 16, and it's a way you can just lift certain subjects from that photo so you can have that shown without the background. I think it's super cool. Now you can just see this without the background. I definitely enjoy it. It's a brand new feature for iOS 16 that I definitely recommend trying out. Also scan certain texts and subjects from photos using your text message as well. And I want to show you how to do this. If we hold down right here and click this right here, this icon, you're going to see that my camera pops up and say I want to scan a certain text of an object that I have, like this deodorant right here. All I have to do is just put my camera right here. And now you can see that Harry's pops up, which is the name of this product. All I have to do is, now that this has popped up in my text message, I can just click send right here. And if I want to scroll down and choose odor or sweat control as well, I can choose that and just click send as well right here. And this is one way you can actually scan any products or text right from your camera on your iPhone 14. I definitely recommend trying that if you want to show someone a product that you're buying or any other text that you want to show on a picture. You can scan that and send them directly through your iMessage, like I just did on my iPhone 14. With the iPhone 14 and iOS 16, there's new Safari features as well, like shared tab groups. So essentially what shared tab groups is you can actually plan a trip with friends or shop on a couch with your partner, and you can share all your tabs in one location on your Safari app. And I want to show you how this works. So if we click this icon right here, it's going to take me to this specific page on Safari. If I want to add a new one, I can just click that plus button right here. If I go back and click 2 tabs right here, now you're gonna see I have my tab groups, and it's gonna show 2 tabs, and I have the option to turn this to private if I like. So if we click private, essentially what this does is it turns on a private browsing mode. And Safari won't remember the pages you visited, your search history, or your autofill information after you choose a tab in your private browsing mode. So if you want only information that you can see that you're looking up on Safari and you want that private to yourself, you can create a private browsing mode simply by doing what I just showed you on your iPhone 14 Safari app right here. And if we go back, you can see you can create a new empty tab group or new tab groups from these 2 tabs right here. So if we click that right now, a new tab group pops up and I can title that. I'm gonna say me/personal right here. And now that's gonna be my new tab group, and these 2 tabs are gonna be in that specific tab group. I don't have any information in them, I was just showing you the Safari page, but if you wanna have some information that you wanna share and create in a new tab group, you can just create that right here on Safari, and now that's gonna be your new tab group right here. And also, in addition to this, you can see that my browser or my search bar is at the top of my screen. In previous iOS updates, they moved it down here, and I wanna show you guys you have the option to choose between where you want your search bar on your Safari tab, and all we have to do is just go out of the app, go on settings right here, and then we can scroll all the way down till we see Safari right here. And now we have the option to choose which way we want to see our search bar. We have it at the top or the bottom. Like I said, I prefer the top, but in previous iOS updates, they moved that to the bottom. So if we move it to the bottom right here and then go back to Safari, you're going to see that now the search bar is at the bottom of the screen opposed to the top. This is completely up to your preference. I prefer the top, but you just know you can change that in the settings of your iPhone 14. With iOS 16 and the iPhone 14, you can now choose and schedule when you want to send emails to specific people. And I want to show you a little bit about how this works. So if we go to my mail app right now, I'm just going to choose any random email, just like this one from Apple right here. And I click reply right here. I'm going to click reply. And I'm gonna start typing right here. I'm gonna click hi there. And this is pretty cool because if you wanna send an email, but you don't wanna choose a specific time you wanna send that out, you don't wanna send it right in the moment, you guys have the ability to do that with iOS 16. So I just typed hi there right here. I'm gonna hold down this arrow right here. And now I have all these options to choose from. So I can choose send now, send at 9 p.m. tonight, 8 a.m. tomorrow, 8 a.m. Monday, or I can click send later and I can choose a specific time I wanna send that email out. So like I said, if you don't wanna send an email out right away and you wanna have a certain set date or time that you send that email out, you can now do that with the mail app on iOS 16, and I definitely recommend using that if you plan on using this new feature with your iPhone 14. With iOS 16, we also have a new family sharing mode. So essentially with family sharing, you can actually share and create accounts for children or your parents right from the start, and you can set your preferences for age-appropriate media, screen time, location sharing, and more. And you can choose all these options right here in the settings tab on family sharing. And as you can see, we're on the page right now, and I want to show you a little bit of the features that this comes with. So for example, if we go to family checklist right here, you're gonna see these options we can choose from, and you can take advantage of all the family sharing features available to you. You can share with your family medical IDs, you can share your location, your iCloud Plus subscriptions, and your recovery contacts right here from family sharing. And on top of that, you can also add as many family members as you want to this. I only have my mom and my dad, and I'm gonna send invites to them right now. And as you can see, once I send that invite to my dad right here, it's gonna say join the family. Andy is inviting you to join a family so you can share your media purchases and subscriptions. And all you have to do is just click send right there. And you can invite others or create a child account. If we click create a child account, for example, now this is gonna have certain restrictions on what you're using and sharing with your family. This account will be a part of your family until the child is at least 13 years of old. You must be an adult or the child's parents/legal guardian to provide consent. Since I don't have a child, I'm not gonna dive in and set all of this up. But if you have a family and you have a child, you can actually create a child account with this family sharing icon and family sharing with iOS 16. You also have all these options down here like subscriptions, for example. Like right now we have just iCloud. We go back, we have location sharing. I have none shared at the moment, but you can share your location with your family, and your location will be shared with all your members, including any new members that are added later. And you can start sharing your location to the people I showed and shared with my family sharing settings on my iPhone, like I just previously showed you. So we click share location. Now my mom and my dad and whoever I invited are gonna be able to see that location that I'm located at the moment. And you can also set up purchase sharing as well. So for example, if we click on purchase sharing, you can share your payment methods, allow purchase sharing, and keep all your accounts separate. I'm gonna set this up later, but these are great options you can use if you have a family linked under the same iCloud. And even if you don't, you can share all this information like your location, purchase history, and subscriptions right here through your iOS 16 update with your iPhone 14. I hope you enjoyed today's video. This was a complete beginner's guide covering the iPhone 14. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to drop a like and hit the subscribe button for more great content like this. I also encourage you guys to go to appfindvip.com and subscribe to our email newsletter to get the best mobile apps and games delivered directly to your email inbox. And also go give us a follow on our Instagram at appfindvip. We're going to be showcasing the best tips, tricks, and hidden features on the iPhone 14 and all Apple and Android products out there. And I also encourage you guys to go to bestrewardapps.com to see all these incredible apps like QuickThoughts and Rakuten that allow you to earn incredible rewards and prizes right at your fingertips. These are all affiliates of ours, and they're all great apps that are worth checking out. So definitely check out all these links, you guys. They're going to be in the description of this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.